Hello and welcome to Calendar Declutter online workshop. Awesome for you to be here today. Welcome if you're joining us live on our Zoom session today, and hello if you are watching this on YouTube. Yeah, glad that you can join us wherever you are. We'd love to hear from you wherever you're joining us from. Where are you joining us from, and what are you looking forward to learning today? Why do you need to declutter and organize your calendar? What are your challenges? That will help me as we go along, making sure that I'm covering things that are of interest to you. And also just it's a bit of fun to be, interact and enjoy each other's company while we're on this session today. So yeah, share those things as we're going along. So our business Space and Time is all about making conscious choices with how we use our space and time. And it's those deliberate choices. It's not just doing things because that's how you did it when you were growing up, or mum showed you how to do it this way, dad showed you. It's about choosing how to do things right now so that it works for you and your family. A system that used to work ages ago may not work for you now in your current circumstances. So we're specifically going to look at our time today and how we manage our time. And as I said before, don't forget to share with us in the chat, what's your intention today? What would you like to learn? Changes of any sort are easier if you've got a clear intention. So use the chat and share that with us. And we'll also continue, so make an offer to continue the journey. After our session today, we've got some upcoming programs for you to join us on. So yeah, thank you and welcome. Thanks, Jane. Jane is in the car listening while she's traveling, so no video, no problem. Thanks, Jane, for joining us. Awesome. Dee is in the USD. Thanks for coming along. Good on you. I'd love to learn ways to declutter items from my calendar that no longer serve me. I love it. You've been to my sessions before, Dee. You are a seasoned declutterer, and add things that work now. I love it. I also want to learn how to best integrate my work calendar and personal life calendar for maximum productivity. Awesome. You are all in the right place. Thank you so much for sharing that. Oh, I better just let another couple of people in that are in the waiting room. Come on in, everybody. Bill's coming through. Awesome. All right, so come on down, people. Let's go to the next slide as they're coming in. Excellent. Thanks, everybody. Just letting another couple of people coming through. Here I am, Julie Cliff, declutter coach and professional organizer. Before starting my business 10 years ago, I was an executive assistant and administrator, so helping people declutter and organize their office environment is something that I really enjoyed to do. But then found a group of professional organizers here in Melbourne and found out that this is a real thing. We do go into people's homes and help them declutter and organize their spaces to support the rest of their life, so their clutter doesn't sort of, wander around and follow them around the rest of their lives. Sometimes it just follows them out the front door. And so, yeah, been doing that for the last 10 years, which I really enjoy doing. So to keep us on the straight and narrow today, and so I don't start talking off in tangents, we are going to follow the space and time organizing system, with our focus being today on our time. This system works for both our space and our time, and that's why my business is called Space and Time. But today we're going to specifically look at our calendar and managing our time. The first step of the space and time organizing system is stop the stuff. Just like Jane said before, she wants to stop putting some things on her diary and add other things that really add to her life and suit her and her family right now. And I think a lot of you would be feeling a similar way as well. Second step, your commitment to being organized. Step 3, sort the stuff. So we're going to do some categorization and time chunking and blocking together to help us manage our time. The fourth step is things you no longer need. So that's the decluttering step. So we want to try and get as much stuff out of our diary that doesn't serve us as we can, so we can focus on those important things. Then we're going to look at easy storage for our to-do items. We're going to look at our to-do list, our calendar, how we can manage what we want to get done every day. And then the last step of the space and time organizing system is maintenance tools. What can we do each and every day to help us be organized? So what to expect during this session of Declutter Your Calendar? We're going to examine where all your to-dos come from, all the different hats that you wear and all the different priorities. And that can really help us get focused on the important things. You might find that there's a lot of things pulling you away for what you're trying to achieve. We're also going to prioritize and stay focused on those important tasks and really make that a key to what we're trying to achieve today. We want to structure our week to suit our energy. So maybe Mondays you've got more energy, so we would do certain things. By Friday, you might be winding down into the weekend, or it might be around the other way. And also we want to make being organized a part of everyday life. So that's what we're looking at doing today. So let's jump into step number 1 of the space and time organizing system, which is stop the stuff. So what is the big deal of having too much stuff on your to-do list? Well, my clients tell me that they look at the list and it's just so overwhelming that they'll go and wash the cat instead. Try and find anything to do except what they should be doing that's on their to-do list. A lot of procrastination comes in if there's too much on their to-do list because it's just too overwhelming and don't know where to start. It's exhausting. As I said before, it sort of weighs on your shoulders and it follows you around the your whole life. You walk out the front door and it feels heavy on your shoulders on this long to-do list. An important thing to think about as well is that we all only have 168 hours in a week. So we would really need to make those conscious choices on how we want to use that time. I hope you might like to have a sleep at some stage during that time, and I'd always like you to have some time with your friends and family. Of course, we're going to go and do work. And bring an income of some sort or work on your business. So having a good think about why you have so much on your to-do list is a great place to start. It's like an audit. And having a think about, as I said, where they all come from and how we can stop adding more things to our list. And we will look at using a weekly planner as we go through the steps today to help us manage getting all those things done in the 168 hours we have in a week. So in this first step of stop the stuff, we really want to be mindful of what we put on our calendar and our to-do list and what we can let go of. So one of my favorite things to do with clients is to get them to do a bit of a brain dump. Get it all out of their head, write it on a notebook or wherever they might like to write it, and just cross things off that really aren't important, they're not relevant. You're doing them because you should do them or somebody expects you to do them, but they're not moving you towards your goals. That can be a tricky thing, and it can take a little bit of practice to start saying no to people. We really love to say yes when we can. At different times of our life as well, we have more time to be able to work on other people's projects than later times. Like I used to do a lot of volunteering at school, doing things for the kids' primary school. But as they got older, I just have not made that a priority. They're big enough and can look after themselves now. Only one of them left at high school, and I've decided, I've made that conscious choice of not to sort of participate in those extra things you can do at their school. So I've been practicing saying no, that rather than get sidetracked with what other people want us to do. I'm really been putting myself forward and putting my business forward. And that means putting the family forward as well, to be able to grow the space and time business and really put all of my eggs in that basket for now. So this, as I said, this is really a good time to do an audit of how you're spending your time. And we can really look at how you're spending your time and if that is really moving you forwards, or if it's just busyness and that you're sort of just going about your day because other people are expecting you to do particular things. Would love to hear you. What are you going to take off your to-do list? What are you going to say no to? What are you not going to put on your to-do list? Have a couple of things come up already that you are going to put aside? As I said, we really do love to say yes to as much as we can, whether it's volunteering, whether it's helping out in the community. And I do have a lot of my older clients that's exactly where they are at the moment. They're not doing so much paid work, so they can really get down into that volunteering and giving back to their community. But when you're at home with 8 children, putting on all the shoes, making all the lunches, cleaning the house from top to toe, in a caring role, wherever you might be with you and your family, we want to put you first. And we make those choices to change how we're using our time as time goes by. I'd love to hear from you. Share in the chat. What are you not going to put on your to-do list? Okay, we're going to jump in now to step number 2, your commitment. Step number 2, your commitment to being organized, is all about starting small and just going from one little step to the next step, not huge, overwhelming changes. Let's just start somewhere small. So it can be very difficult to change overnight, although it is possible. I decided 4 years ago that I wasn't going to drink anymore. So I just stopped. Been the easiest and the best decision I've ever made. So sometimes overnight changes can be very easy, but sometimes they can be challenging as well. But I'm really talking about these tiny changes that we can make along the way. And your commitment to being organized is really saying, I am an organized person. I am going to put myself first. I am going to put my family first. I do not want to run around and feel rushed and overwhelmed and scattered and exhausted. I am going to make these deliberate choices to make my days filled with the important things that I need to work on. Like I said, for myself and for many of my other clients, that important thing is going to work, and perhaps spending long hours on it. Maybe the kids do have to go to daycare. Maybe you do have to pay for somebody to look after them, or for cleaners to come into your house and help take over some things. Some stages of life are frantically busy, and I will say that a number of times over the session today. But we can make some good choices along the way to help us with that, so that we're not just running around like a headless chook. It's deliberate. And sometimes when we go, yep, I'm all in, like I said, I've done and doing this year, I'm trying to spend as many hours in my business as I can. The amazing Mary Lou, who's joining us today, she's my assistant, and she's just running and looking after all the admin. So we're making these very clear choices on how we want to use our time. So if you're, say, a stay-at-home mum, you're balancing the school pickups and drop-offs and those sorts of things, that's a very busy time of your life as well. I remember when my kids first went to school, I thought, oh, I've got the whole day to do these things when you drop them off at school, but the school day is so short. So we really need to acknowledge the stage of our life we are and where our time needs to be spent. And I think that can really be helpful to us as well. It's like, okay, this is not going to be forever. I don't I'm not going to be putting the kids' school shoes on their feet forever. And we empower them to do that as much as we can and teach the kids all the skills. But your commitment to being organized is going, yep, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make time to be organized. I'm going to start to do what organized people do. And that is, you know, using a great to-do list. It's being very clear on our priorities. It's putting them in your calendar, in your diary. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But it really is going, I can do this. I am an organized person. And it's catching yourself being organized as well, going, yeah, I did a great job with that. We got to that doctor's appointment on time. We left with plenty of time to get to the doctor's appointment. We parked with no problem. We wandered up and walked straight up there and just had a couple of minutes breather before we needed to let the people know that we had arrived at the appointment. So this step is all about your commitment to being organized. So would love to hear from you. How are you going to show your commitment to being organized, and what little changes are you going to start to make? Let me have a look at the chat before I move along. Dee says, I'm considering saying no to everything that does not align with my goals and priorities while I'm doing this time audit and rebalancing. Dee, I love it. So awesome. And I think if you are clear on your goals and priorities, we'll talk about that in a little bit more as well. If you're very clear on what those goals are, it's easy to say no, because you can have a look at your little page on the projects that you're working on for the year and go, no, that's not on that list. So I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. So good on you. Stick to your guns and stick to your goals and priorities. Good one. Thanks, Linda. She says, I need to stop spending so much time writing and rewriting to-do lists. She says, I wish I was joking. I love that. Yeah, I hear what you're saying there, and you will probably be amazed to hear that I don't really have a to-do list. Perhaps this is a weird way to run a household and a business, but I find that those important things seem to rise to the top somehow, and I get them done. But I absolutely see people in their homes with lists and lists and pages and pages. And sometimes if they're not being done, maybe there is a reason. Maybe you're either not being committed to getting those things done on the list and just, you know, putting your big girl pants on and getting them done, or whether they don't need to be done at all. So Linda, I hear you. Let's stop rewriting those to-do lists. And Dee says, that's a great idea to keep a list before you. I would do that. Yeah, so keeping that list of goals and priorities. Awesome. Linda says it's really a procrastination list. I love that. That's so good. And it is. It can be so scary to look at a big long to-do list. So yeah, I hear you. And Dee says that's a unique perspective. I've never thought of it that way. So that's yeah, looking at the procrastination list. So thank you. I think we've got the idea of being committed to being organized. One of my themes for this year myself is to take it seriously. So take my business seriously and take my life, which my health, that is, my health and fitness seriously. So that's my commitment to myself this year. Right, so let's jump straight into step 3, which is sort the stuff. Step 3 of the space and time organizing system. And this is one of my favorite steps, the sorting step. Whether we are sorting, physical sorting in somebody's home, sorting out their utensils, sorting out their clothes, their wardrobe, it's the step where we just start to put like items together and see what we've got. When we're talking about to-do lists and our calendar, sorting really is starting to examine what's on your to-do list, what are your priorities, what are your goals, and start bringing those things together. And then shortly we're going to start to put it into this calendar. But you can use this weekly routine planner to help us as well to do the sorting. So, we can start to do some time chunking, whether it's time to work on our to-do list, because we really should have that in our diary at some stage, a time to sit down and do our admin, a time to sit down and look at the week ahead. We'll talk about that in maintenance. So we need to schedule some of these important times to be able to get things done and for us to show our commitment to being organised. So what I want you to do is, in this sorting step of the space and time organising system, is to prioritise your to-do items. So what we can do is use that weekly planner to start plugging our time into our week. As I said before, we only have 168 hours in the week. We need to be able to go to work. We need time to work on the business. We need time to do the washing, the groceries, the meals, the cleaning. We need to spend time with our family, and we need me time as well. So if we can start to plot things out, this can really help us sort what's important to us. And once we get these chunks of time in, you would put your domestic duties in your weekly planner and stick to that just as though you were sticking to a doctor's appointment or a specialist appointment. And your me time as well. Me time should be at the top of that list. When are you going to go for a walk? When are you going to sit down and read a book? When are you going to sit and do some meditation? We really want to use this whole week, 168 hours a week, and sort those important things. You would have heard of probably the big rocks theory of putting all those big chunky things in your life, put them first and foremost, and then we can put the little things around it and massage it as we go. So I really love that weekly planner. I do this planning on my Google Calendar, and then I print it out so it's beside me, and then I can write notes and that sort of thing during the week. But all of my clients are scheduled in, of course. If I've got appointments calls to make, I'll put it in a 15-minute time slot. So we're really trying to massage and sort out our week with our focus on those important to-do items. And as we're going through this as well, we can double our time by saying no. So it's amazing what we can say no to just to gain some more time. We can put the phone down for a while, stop scrolling and reclaim some time. As I said, we can say no to some of those commitments we may have done over the time, volunteering in the kids' classroom. My oldest son has decided he's not playing rugby league this year. So that means we've gained a whole of Saturday and there's no more training Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that's some extra time that we've just recently grabbed, and we should deliberately choose what to do with that time now that we haven't got those commitments. So want to sort your to-do list in the same way to keep you focused on what's important. If you want to do some craft, join a craft group or something like that and literally put your time in, literally put that in the diary as something to focus on. If you want to do some more exercise, if you want to earn some extra money, put it in the calendar. When I was an executive assistant at Melbourne Storm Rugby League Club, looking after the executive director and the CEO there, I would say to them that if it's not in the diary, it doesn't exist. Like they might go out to a lunch appointment and make another date to catch up with that person at another time. If they didn't tell me, this is the time before electronic calendars as well. We just sort of had the one central paper diary. If they didn't tell me about that appointment, it didn't exist. So I always say to people, if it's not in the diary, it doesn't exist. And then keep clear focus on how you want to spend your time. And this really helps you stay on track and take control of your life. So I won't harp on it for too much longer, although we will come back into it in a second when we're talking about storing our items. But this has really been helping us massage what we want our week to look like. We might get to the end of doing this and go, oh, I really still just don't have the time to do it. All of these things. So we'll have a look at that in a minute, how we can let go of a few more items as well. So this has really been sorting out our to-do list by using, you know, an online, sorry, not online, a printed calendar. And thank you, Mary Lou has put the weekly planner link. Feel free to print that off and you can start to plot out your perfect week. Philippa says, sorry, running late, no problem. She said, I'm not good at estimating how long things take and I don't usually schedule a time block. Housework, would you suggest doing a time audit? Yes. So I think plotting this out and sorting out our time in this weekly planner really is like a time audit. You could do it ahead of time and plan out how you're going to use your time, or like you're suggesting as well, noting down as you're going during the week and writing down how much time you're doing on each of these tasks, because yeah, it's a bit scary sometimes when you've been working on something and then you maybe Facebook and you look at the time and go, oh gosh, where did that last half an hour go? So this can be a really great audit to be able to start to sort the stuff, sorting out to-do items by using this weekly planner. And as you suggest, Philippa, by auditing that how you are spending your time. It's a great way to go, oh, okay, I'm spending too much time on that, not spending enough time on this. Right, let's look at step number 4, things you no longer need. So this is step 4 of the space and time organizing system. And this is where we can cut out things even further that we don't want to do, and clear up space in our diaries to spend on those important tasks, move you towards your goals, make you more money, you know, bring in more income, spend more time with the family, whatever it is that you want to spend your time on. Remember, we are making conscious choices with how we use our time. So how we can do that in this decluttering step is, what can you outsource, what can you automate, and what can you delegate? So on the previous step, we're sorting out all the to-dos. Hopefully we crossed off some things. We decided, nah, we don't need to do them at all. But we still might have decided this is still too much for me to do. So we want to figure out, are you the person that has to do this? Can we delegate it to somebody else? Can we get the kids to do some of these things? Can your partner help out? Can your friends, your neighbors, your work colleagues, or somebody else in your family help out with some of these things? So we can outsource it to them, we can delegate them, some of these tasks to them, or maybe we can automate it as far as paying bills, or every time we go to the dentist, I'll make the next appointment for the dentist so that we don't have to look at the time later on and go, oh, when are we going to go? So that's sort of like automating that. We can automate things like having our groceries delivered. So we have like a weekly list that we just check on a Sunday night. Yep, that weekly list is good. Press order and the groceries come the next day. So trying to make the best use of our time. If all of these things have to be done, really having a good think, are you the only person that can do it? Can we get it done easily and more automated? And can we delegate it? And the last dot point there says, are there still more things we can say no to? If it's our week still looks too big and too full, what can we say no to as well? Because this whole step here, this decluttering step, decluttering our calendar, is getting rid of those unimportant tasks to free you up for time to spend on activities of your choice. As I said, I'm being very conscious to be serious about my business this year and about my health and fitness. So I am, spending as much time in the business as I can, delegating all things that I can to Mary Lou, who's joining us today, and to my team as well. So just looking around to see who can help you move towards some of these things. Another thing to think about as well is we don't have to do all of these things all at the one time. As I said, there are different busy times of this of your life, different seasons of your life. I've said it a couple of times already today. It's so time consuming getting little people ready in the morning, putting their shoes on, changing their nappies, packing the nappy bag, getting them to daycare. You get to work yourself and you feel like you've done a whole day of work already. So I want you to acknowledge that season that you are in. And maybe some things can wait a little while. Maybe we don't have to do all of these things at the one time. Maybe we can be a little bit more conscious about our extracurricular activities ourselves and the kids. Maybe the kids don't have to do soccer, gymnastics, football and swimming all in the one time of year. Maybe you could spread it out, and the same as you and your things that you're focusing on as well. Let's be really mindful about how we use our time. And in this step, we're talking about things you no longer need. That's the decluttering step. We'd love to hear from you as well. What are you going to outsource? What are you going to automate? And what are you going to delegate to free you up to do the best things that you are really good at? And this can be personal and professional as well, and being able to get that blend right as well between business and professional, and being able to have time to do both. Again, sometimes there are really busy times of work and life, and they do get a bit muddly at times, but this is a really good audit point again to be looking at. Let me just have a quick look at the chat. Oh, good on you. Philippa says, you've just reminded me to turn on the RoboVac. I love that idea. Let a little vacuum cleaner run around and do the vacuuming. I love it. Dee says, I will outsource grocery shopping as much as possible, use an online app. Yeah, Dee, I love it when I've got a couple of weekly shopping lists on our local grocer. I go to that weekly list, just make a couple of changes, although I accidentally ordered too many eggs the other day. But it's just great when you've got the list there. You can just make a couple of changes and get it delivered to you, or you can go and pick it up. I love those couple of ideas, getting little RoboVac to work and doing the online groceries. Okay, let's look at step 5, easy storage for your stuff. So this is a really important part so that things don't fall through the cracks. So we can have our to-do list. We were talking about them before. I would absolutely suggest to have just a written to-do list that you have beside you. There are a lot of apps and those sorts of things, but I really just like to keep it very simple. Let's just keep your to-dos in one spot, and then use your diary and your calendar to keep you on track. Like I said, schedule time in your diary to action your to-do item. So it might be chunking time so that each morning you might be looking at your email. Although I think most of the experts say don't look at your email until later in the day when you've got your important things done. They often say to create before you consume. So if you've got things of your own that you need to do, get them done first before you start delving into your email, where often other people are asking you to do stuff. And as I said, schedule time in your diary to action your to-do item. So I need to make some calls this afternoon. So I've plotted them in. I usually do them in half-hour time slots. Normally it doesn't take that time, that whole amount of time, but at least it's allocated. It will pop up on my watch. It will pop up on my phone. What have I got on here today? I've already had some I haven't got anything particular, it's mainly messages at the moment, but I usually do have reminders that come from my Google Calendar on my watch and on my phone. Because that's another great thing. I would love to hear from you also as well. Do you use a paper or electronic calendar or diary? I love the electronic one because it does go bing and remind you to do things. You don't want things going bing, bing, bing and never actioning them. But as I said before, very deliberate about what I put in my calendar, and the things that do go bing. I have notifications turned off for everything except messages. I don't want to know when I get a new email. I'm very lucky I've got Mary Lou to check my emails, but people can wait. People can wait for your reply on an email. So let's chunk time together, as I said, perhaps a little bit later in the day for checking your email, and don't use your inbox as your to-do list. Have that separate, and just often it works well to put a timer on when you're working on that particular task. Say 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get you started. So say I need to sit down and pay some invoices, for example. I'll put a timer on for 10 minutes. That way my brain knows I'm not going to be paying invoices for the rest of my life. There is a time that it will come to an end. But the other thing is, if in 10 minutes time the timer goes off and you've accidentally gone off with the fairies and you found that you're watching cats on YouTube, the timer will go off and bring you back to the task that you are working on. So I often use my watch or my phone, or there are some great visual timers that you can actually see the color disappearing and see the time disappearing. So some of these things can be really helpful to keep you on task and keep you working on that to-do item and not go off with shiny objects. And as I said, set up notifications from appointments in your online calendar to be sent to your phone so that you don't have to remember. So this is like automating and delegating at the same time. Get your electronic calendar to remind you to do it. As I said, let me know if you're a paper or an electronic diary person and why. So this step 5, storage for your to-do items, really is about just keeping it simple, keeping it in the one place, keeping those important things on your list, and delegating time to be actioning these items. So that's probably just those few steps to keep you focused. And that timer is really helpful as well to go, all right, I'm going to pay invoices. And that's right there, right in front of me. You can even write it on a piece of card or a Post-it note or stick it on your head to keep you focused. But this is a really important part of helping you declutter and organize your time, is working and making time to work on those important things. Let me have a look at the chat. Good on you. Thanks, Linda. She's got to head off. It's 1:30 in the morning. Thanks for joining us. That was awesome, Linda. Wow, what dedication. That's amazing. She is very committed to being organized. Dee says, I use both electronic and paper calendar, especially because I cannot integrate my work and personal calendars due to technological issues. What a pity. It seems to work well for me in this season. I love that idea, Dee. And having them side by side, I hope, is a good way for you to be able to manage both those parts of your life at the moment. And lovely, Rebecca says I use a Pomodoro technique with a timer. Yeah, so turn your timer on for 25 minutes is often the time to use for the Pomodoro. It could be shorter than that if you are just feeling too overwhelmed. Put the timer on work on that task, the timer goes off, get up, have a break, and I usually put the timer on for that as well, so I can get up and go and have a break, but don't get too sidetracked with your break as well. But if I have a lot of work to do, and my clients say this as well, that if they break their day up using this Pomodoro technique, by the end of the day, they've achieved a lot and they're not feeling so exhausted because they've had these mini breaks in between. So love those ideas that you've shared in the chat today. Thank you. So let's look at step 6, maintenance tools. So step 6 of the space and time organizing system is the last step of this system. And it's all about how can we spend time being organized each and every day. So a couple of different things I'm going to suggest. The first one of this maintenance step is at the same time each week, have a look at the week ahead and see what you've got coming up. When the kids were small, I would do this on a Tuesday when our school newsletter would come out. So I'd look at the newsletter, see what special events the kids have got coming up. So I'd put those events in the calendar. It might be a dress up. It might be something special they have to take to school. It might be school sports. So every Tuesday I would look at that newsletter from the school, plot it in the calendar, and then make any other adjustments I needed to make to the week as well, so that we can get ready for those special days at school. But more so these days, I will do this on it varies a little, maybe on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I'll have a look at what's coming up for the week. Probably on a Friday, I would look to see what clients I've got coming up on Monday and Tuesday, so that I can send them a note and just remind them, how you going? Looking forward to seeing you, and make any arrangements for those clients. But whichever day of the week you choose, have a look and see what you've got coming up. Like if you've got a doctor's appointment in the coming week, how long is it going to take you to get there? Have you got the address? Do you have to take a referral with you? Is it something that you've not been to before, a specialist or someone like that? Where do you park? How long is it going to take you to park and then drive? Like particularly if you're going to a hospital for an appointment, some of these places can be huge. It could take you half an hour to walk from the car to the appointment. So you can't just arrive at the hospital at that appointment time because you're not sitting in front of the doctor at that time. So by looking at what you've got the week coming up, you can really start to plan your week out. Use that weekly planner that we spoke about and plot your time out. So this is a great maintenance tool to be able to help you stay organized. And also sometimes when I look at this week ahead, I sort of look at it and go, oh, hang on a minute. I've said I'm going to be here and I'm going to be here at the same time. And I can't do that. So at least if you've got a few days notice, you can make some adjustments to your calendar if you've accidentally made a double up like that. Oh, and I just said exactly what that dot point says. Yeah, so if you're looking at the whole week ahead and you realize you can't be in 2 places at once, you've got time to reschedule. So before we close up, we're getting close to the end here. What have we missed? We missed anything? So I can touch base with it in a second. And also, what's been the best tip today? Particularly for this maintenance side of it. As we said in your commitment to being organized, that earlier step, organized people weren't necessarily born that way. I've taught myself a lot of these things because I would just get stressed and overwhelmed. So I wanted to make my week a little bit less stressful, put more time in between appointments, in between clients, more time for travel here or there, and those sorts of things. So what has been helpful for you, while we're saying about not everyone was born organized or disorganized, we can do little things each and every day to help us stay organized. Good on you. Thanks, Rebecca. She said overscheduling is my biggest challenge. Yeah, so that's a good one. Having a really good look of what's on your calendar. Can it be delayed? Can you just cross it off the list? Can you do it next week? Do you have to do it at all? Can somebody else do it for you? And you're the one that can, be really true to yourself and decide on those things as well. Dee says, this has been great. I am looking forward to making time of doing a time audit, decluttering my calendar, delegating where I can, and also adding new time chunks into my calendar. Awesome. Thank you. And Philippa says, scheduling housework is something I've not done before, and I'd like to commit to meal planning. Yeah, I think both those things are great. I always used to clean the bathroom on a Sunday morning. And I used to do it regularly for a long time. I've let that slip and I'm paying my son to do it instead. So I'm delegating. It's just something that I didn't want to spend any more of my time doing. So, but I love the idea of scheduling that housework. Because sometimes I feel like if it's just like, no, I'll do it whenever, it's like, I'll do it never. So, yeah, I think having an actual time to do it is great. And that's a great way to keep up your maintenance. And meal planning is a good one as well, to be able to plan what you've got coming up. Because when you meal plan as well, you can have a look at that weekly planner, see what you've got coming up work-wise, or the kids, or any other commitments you've got over the week. And you can plan the different meals depending on if you're going to be home. If you're going to be home late, maybe you'd put the slow cooker on, or get the kids involved. My son helped me make tacos last night. We had a great laugh and a great time. Need to get the big one involved in the next one. So meal planning is a good one to look at that week ahead and then find the good meals that are going to suit for that week. Because you can't just make a whole big dinner that takes 1,000 steps when you're going to get home from work at 6:30 at night time thing. Thanks, Philippa. She also says, I must also delegate to other humans, son and partner, more. I agree, absolutely. Get everyone on board. So in summary, today we have had a look at making conscious choices with our time to make life simpler and more manageable. With this focus on our time, you can deliberately bring things into our lives that you love and let go of things that you no longer love, or that don't serve us and your family right now. So we want to use our time and to take us closer to the life you want, rather than having too much to do take us further away from the life that you want to live. So in 2 weeks' time, our next session, 8th of May, is making good health a habit. So this is really going to be looking at those things we can do each and every day to make good health a habit. Just as a thank you for coming along today, I would love to have a chat to you on Zoom, just a free 15-minute chat. Is there anything today that you would like a little bit of extra help with managing your diary? Send me an email, julie@spaceandtime.com.au, and let's have a chat and see if we can help you sort out your calendar. Let me just have a look at the chat before we finish up. I think that's all good. Mary Lou has just put the links for making good health a habit. You can register there and also make a 15-minute clarity call. Thank you all for coming. We'd love to see you at that next session in 2 weeks' time. But that's all we've got today. Again, thank you for coming, and looking forward to the next one. Keep me informed. Let me know how you go with your time chunking, with your delegating, crossing things off your list, just keeping a very simple to-do list. Would love to keep up with your progress. Thanks. Awesome. Nice to see you, Bill. Thanks for coming. Thanks, Rebecca. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Mary Lou, of course. Thanks, Kay. Great to see you, Philippa. Thank you all for your participation, and we'll see you at the next one. Bye for now.
Thanks, Julie.
Thank you.
Julie, yeah.